Talking Reds from Pittsburgh, it's John Gibbons. I'm here with Neil Atkinson and Craig Hannan, and we're on the Liverpool tour. We're looking forward to watching the Reds play out here in America. We're looking forward to meeting lots of new people, doing some live and shows, and it's going to be a brilliant time. But first of all, huge thanks to NordVPN who are partnering with us again for this next stretch of Talking Reds. Really delighted to have them back on board. And I tell you what, Neil, they've upped the budget. Look at this. No expense spared for the Nord people for these. They're like, we need to get you out there. We need you on location.
I thought it was an optimistic ask from you, and then suddenly there we were. You've walked around the city more than me. I've just sauntered down here right now with you all, and I like the place a great deal. There's loads going on. It's really, really lively in terms of its layouts. You know, you can feel why it's a city that could be really, really lived in. It's been quiet in terms of number of people, is what I would say, as we've sort of mooched around a little bit. Loads and loads of traffic moving around in the background. But we've got this stadia. It is stadia because there's three of them, I think, all within sort of eye line behind us here. One over there in the far corner. And it's a city that's very much got sport at its heart, so that's exciting for Friday. Yeah,
a real sporting city, and we're here for the game on Friday. But the baseball team who play just over that side of the river, just over the bridge there, they're playing at 12:30 today. So although we're not going, I'm really looking forward to it. It just happening, you know, it being on in bars. We're going to go and do some radio afterwards, sort of right next to it. There's the football stadium here, the reason why I want to come down, that's the NFL stadium, that's where Liverpool are playing. And I love the fact that it is just such a sports-mad city, and they've kept everything right in this city. It makes me feel like it's a good home for Liverpool.
Yeah, massively. I went for a nice little walk this morning, jet lag on the first morning.
You were up first, I think.
Yeah, like 10,000 steps, but it was gorgeous. They love a bridge. There's numerous bridges. There's apparently 300 bridges in this city. I had a look this morning. And one of them goes right past the baseball stadium, so you can actually see in. I might stand on the bridge later on and just try and catch a ball as it comes over. But no, I'm excited to sort of like soak up a bit of the atmosphere around the baseball game and to get us excited for the game that's happening over there on Friday.
Yeah, it's nice to be here a little bit early, isn't it, Neil? Because it's a long trip, and it's a long trip for the team, and it's a long one for us. But I'm glad we're sort of here, just getting to know the people in the city, and for our live events tomorrow night, which is close to selling out, which is brilliant. I just feel like we're always a bit better if we know the city a little bit better, and so for us to come in, to be spending time here today, to be meeting people are dead friendly, by the way. Everyone's saying good morning and hello and stuff like that. And you know, we were out in a bar last night, Genoa's, which was really, really cool spot. And yeah, I'm glad that we're here. I'm glad we get a good run up to that live show, because I feel like we'll be better on stage for it.
I agree with that. I also just think in general, there's no as I say, you like it already. We had a nice night last night after we just got in. There's a nice vibe around the place, but I don't think if it wasn't for having the privilege, and it is a privilege to get to do this, I don't think I'd come to Pittsburgh.
No.
I don't think it'd necessarily be on a list, and maybe we'll have a great time and we'll go back and we'll say to everyone in Liverpool, you've got to go to Pittsburgh, you know, it's one of the best American cities, and there's a fair chance we'll do that, because if I say what you want, if we like something, we're enthusiastic about it. So there's a chance that happens, but I think what I mean is that, you know, it's nice to therefore get what will end up being 4 nights in Pittsburgh, 3 proper days and 4 nights in Pittsburgh, because it may be the only time I come here full stop. And so getting to sort of see a place properly, you know, I was actually saying to Craig before, the last couple of times I've been over in the States doing stuff, it's been on the tours where it's 6 days and it's 6 shows.
They're our tours rather than the Liverpool
ones.
Our
tours.
And we just move so fast.
And it just goes bang, 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 bang. And then we're all together all the time. You're not getting to see different places. Like today we're split up. You're going to go to the foundation event. I'm doing something behind us there with LFC TV, building up to the game, where I'm not quite sure entirely what I'm going to say, but I'll have something by the time I get there. But there is this, I'll have something in a minute for this as well, but there is this sort of thing where we are going to get to sort of live Pittsburgh in a way that, as much as we'd love to when we go on the tours, for instance, we don't really get to live Boston. We get into Boston, we go and do the show, we get up the next morning, we go to the next place where we've been doing our stuff. So getting to spend a bit of quality time in Pittsburgh, I think, is good. And it's also part of why Pittsburgh wants to put Liverpool versus Real Betis on. You know,
to
the
get
same
people here to show off a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the same reason why we're made up in Liverpool, right in front of our office, puts events on the front there, and Eurovision, and we've even been talking about the Euros recently coming in 2026, saying that that'll be great as well as the 2028.
4 years,
We've been saying that that'll be great as well for Liverpool. But there's stuff like that. That's why one of the reasons why you put events on is to welcome people, and then people go away and talk about it. We hopefully film it in a drop dead gorgeous way. Tons of cutaways. And then from there we can...
You've barely seen us so far.
Yeah,
There's
that very bang, 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 bang. Honestly, it's like your man who films Strictly Ballroom. That's how quick the transitions are right now, what Ash is up to. But there's loads and loads of positives for that, and I am really looking forward to seeing them. I'm looking forward to seeing them on Friday, simply to move along into what it is they do or don't do. Let's begin to see how it is that they're going to approach games, how it is they're going to play. I'm really looking forward to that. I don't think there'll be massive changes, but I think there'll be quite significant ones. And then, having lived one of those games, you can begin to say, all right, what would it look like with this? What would it look like with this? And I think that's what we all sort of need right now. Slot's getting it in training, obviously, but he'll need it for the matches as well. So I think we're all on that curve together from Friday, and I'm excited about that too.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. And when we're on stage tomorrow night, something I'm going to say, and I know it's something that you've said, it's sort of in the past, is that for everyone going tomorrow, they're going to see an Arne Slot Liverpool team for the first time. Obviously, we've had this behind closed doors game and stuff like that, but this is the first proper game, if you like, where fans can come, and yet it's not a competitive one, but for everyone in Pittsburgh and for everyone at the game on Friday night, what I'm going to be saying at the live show tomorrow is that you're going to see an Arne Slot team for the first time, and I'm really interested to see what it looks like. I suppose you saw little signs of how they're going to play, the other day, but we're going to see sort of a whole bowl full of it in there on Friday, which is going to be dead interesting.
Yeah, massively. A new era starts in that stadium, and that's so exciting for the fans that are going to be there. And you've got Mo Salah turning up, and we were talking earlier about the fact that often Salah maybe isn't on this tour at the early stage of it, but it'll be like a genuine rock star. Is there tomorrow. I remember a few seasons ago in New York when he came on against Man City in one of the friendlies, and like the roof come off the place like nothing I'd ever seen. So there'll be Salamania in there, and also just the excitement around getting to see so many of the young players. I think it's a massive opportunity for so many of them. Some of the ones that we saw more of than we thought last season, and how they build in that going into this new season, particularly under the new manager. And like you say, just as simple as how this football team might look. Give us some sort of context around Arne Slot that goes beyond what he did at Feyenoord, because we'll only really know what a Liverpool team begins to look like, or how he's going to set the team up from Friday onwards.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking for sort of clues. We're going to be looking for where he plays, certain players, because he's not got everyone, and that has to be said. But there's a decent enough sort of squad out here. It'd be interesting to see whether he goes a bit more like this is the first team and then changes from there, or whether he splits up some of those first team players. I think there's obviously different ways that different managers have done it. We won't know, but I think I'm really interested to see how these players do sort of link up with each other if he does go, which I hope he does, as strong as possible first and then changes from there.
I prefer him to do that, but as you say, he might choose not to. Also, he's got this funny situation where as strong as possible in some areas is, that's pretty strong, and in other areas he's
got loads of left backs.
Yeah, exactly. Then it's, okay. That doesn't particularly bode very well. Like, he's got, the only player who gets more than 10 games last season at centre-half he's got here is Quansah for us. But he does have Vandenberg in that as well, and we might get to see a little bit of what that could look like, or where he is. But again, we've been talking about Vandenberg and the idea that PSV are prepared to break the transfer record for him. But we've sort of lost all sense of him as a footballer, really. Yeah. We weren't watching mine, so we'll find that out.
We weren't watching Preston.
So we're not going to get all the answers, but we'll find a bit more out there. And then from there, I think, I'm expecting to see, where I'm expecting to see a bit of similarities and a little bit of from Feyenoord and a little bit of a change from us, is I'm expecting to see a bit more shorter, more controlled passing, more moving up the pitch as a whole, slightly slower, less direct build-up, only slightly, but slightly. I'm expecting it to be a noticeable difference, but I could be completely wrong, and then you get to say, I wasn't expecting that. That was completely wrong. But yeah, I think I'd like the idea of, where possible, you're getting closer and closer, as mad as it is, to these are lads who may well feature against Ipswich. And I would love to watch a first half where you've got 9 who plausibly, you could say, could feature against Ipswich. And that, I think he can get relative. I don't think he can quite get to 9. I think he might be able to get to 7. But I'd like to see, therefore, that 7 on the pitch at once.
Yeah.
And then, you sort of go from there. And then if someone like Carvalho grabs the chance because he's brilliant all the way through pre-season and the other lads aren't coming back, then suddenly it becomes 8. And that's the sort of journey that they're all going to be on here. But I am really, really looking forward to the game. It's funny because we've just talked about being in Pittsburgh, and we're going to get to do our show. But when people have been sort of saying to me, what are you most looking forward to about the tour, full stop, it genuinely has been, and often this isn't the case in years gone by, but it genuinely is watching them play.
Yeah.
it's watching them play. Years gone by, I'm always very much like, can't wait to see the people, because that is true. That's what we're about when we come out to these places. But right now, because it feels like it's been so long, because they didn't really have any end of season game. Maybe I feel in the back of my mind that season started a bit earlier and this one's starting a bit later, because they haven't done a Tranmere style pre-season game or anything like that. My genuine answer right now is, what are you looking forward to? It's watching them play.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, that's absolutely massive. And we watched a summer of, I'd argue, and have argued, pretty mediocre football, dramatic football, and football's not all just about the standard. But I think that I want to see the standard. I want to see the standard back, and I want to see our players. And I want to see our players, the ones who I love in particular, raring to go. I want to see Mo Salah raring to go. I want to see Curtis Jones absolutely raring to go. Andy Robertson shaking Scotland off and saying, let's get stuck into this. Conor Bradley for the wee man there, not been doing anything. But no, I want to see him absolutely looking like the best version of Conor Bradley, because it's a great opportunity. But also, we've talked about this in the past, and they used to say it's a marathon, not a sprint, but these days it's an 800-metre race, two laps of the track as quickly as you can, no messing around. So, they've got to start fast against Ipswich, and the road to starting fast against Ipswich starts on Friday in there.
Yeah, 100%. We'll talk a little bit more about the game, about the games, plural, and about whether any other players are going to be joining them out on this tour in a few minutes. But I just want to give, again, a huge shout out to NordVPN. Like I said, they're partnering with us again over the next couple of months. We really appreciate their support. And it's a trip like this where I really appreciate that I've got the NordVPN service, because I think I use it most when I am away, because it is that internet security, it is that the privacy settings, it is that peace of mind. The first thing I do when I walk into somewhere, which is really bad, and Ash witnessed it this morning when we went for breakfast, is ask them for the Wi-Fi code, because you're sort of logging on, but you're logging on in mad Wi-Fi places, in dive bars, and sort of here, there and everywhere. And so having that security, having that peace of mind for your internet usage is really positive. It's multi-device on NordVPN as well, so one subscription. For me, when I downloaded it, we use it now on 6 devices between me and my wife, across all of them as well. So you can use it on all the different things. So whether you're on your laptop, on your tablet, or on your phone, you are getting that protection. So the added security, the added peace of mind is a massive benefit from it. But the main thing I think the sports fans like it for is that ability to change your virtual location, change where you are appearing to be online, to be able to watch sporting events or sporting things or different things that are going on where you are. So that benefits you sometimes in the UK, but when I'm away, I don't know if there's a show that you can't miss at home that you're going to be making sure that you're watching at 3 o'clock in the morning when you can't sleep.
I'll find something on that, but I just want as a point of order, did you go to a dive bar for breakfast?
No. We went to a very nice French bakery for breakfast, but we were in a dive bar last night.
We were in a dive bar last night.
I am going to watch Love Island using my VPN.
Amazing.
I've set it on the internet, I don't care. I'm going to do it.
I mean,
but it's every night, so you can't just wait. You're going to be too far behind. You won't be able to catch up.
Exactly. I'm going to use NordVPN. I genuinely am.
No, I believe it.
It's the only way.
So there you are. Whether you want to watch Love Island while you're away, either on tour or on holiday, or just want to make sure that you see at every sporting event at home, it's nordvpn.com/TAW. That's nordvpn.com/TAW. There's loads of great special offers if you sign up through that link. I think it's 4 months extra free. There's lots of other things they're throwing in for you as well. A virtual sim that works in 130 different countries as well. They're giving you free of charge at the moment as well. And there's that 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you sign up and you're not sure that confident, to give you that 30-day money-back guarantee. So nice one. I mentioned before, Craig, about the extra players. There's talk that a few more might come and join them, so we're not going to get them for the game. But the likes of Diogo Jota, Alisson Becker, the ones who went out a little bit early might come out to Philadelphia for Arsenal, Man United, which would be nice. It'd be nice for the manager, it'd be nice for them to be around their teammates. I'm not expecting any signings necessarily to sort of come and join. They might get one over the line, but I think that's more likely they'll join him back in Liverpool. So he's got what he's got in terms of the manager for these games, and he'll be enjoying working with them. But I'm sure we'd all like 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, look, of course, but these summers when you've got so many international tournaments are always a pain in the arse whenever it comes to the very first pre-season friendlies. Looking at the squad, I'm most excited about some of the young players, and I mean, like, I remember last season whenever we were in the tour and we were watching Bobby Clark for the first time, and players getting at Quansah, yeah, and you were getting a glimpse of what we would come to sort of see throughout the rest of the season. You know, I'm looking at players like Neone, who, if you've watched any of the Inside Anfield training videos, I know he's like 16, 17, but like he looks unbelievable.
Yeah, he's the best player in the world.
He looks unbelievable in this video. He is. I didn't want to say it, John, but you have on the internet. So, just to get a sense of like where they are in their development, and even someone like Naomi, he you wouldn't expect to sort of see this season, or maybe a substitute, performance in a League Cup game, but just to understand sort of what kind of footballers that we've got, and then obviously the players like Connor Bradley and Kwanzaa, who are bona fide first team players now, or first team squad players. I'm really excited to see how they propel themselves to the next level. And Van den Berg as well. I think it's a funny one, because like it just feels as if he's going to get sold, doesn't it? Feels as if Liverpool are holding out. Feels like, to be honest, it might just be the fact that they're holding out for some centre backs to come back, so they've got actual centre backs to play in these games.
That's also very possible.
It might not just be the case of them holding out for a fee.
Yeah.
They need players to play in some games, and that might be the case. But just to see him, I remember his first pre-season was 2019, and I remember us seeing him in the training, but he was so young there, and as Neil says, he's gone off and had all these loan spells, so we don't know exactly what kind of footballer we're getting. And Mo Salah. Mo Salah looks happy at the moment. He looks excited. He looks cool in all the photos, and I'm excited to see him, because every season it feels like people sort of downplay Mo Salah's importance to Liverpool and downplay the numbers that he's going to deliver, and I just feel like he's going to deliver another 25 goal a season for this season, and it starts on Friday.
Something else that I know you always say that people downplay as well, that he loves playing for Liverpool. He loves the tours, by the way, whether it's Asia or America. He loves coming out. He loves the adulation in a kind of not in a big-headed way. To really just sort of like see what he means to sort of people all around the world. That he never thought maybe would have been possible when he was a young lad just dreaming of being a footballer. But I think he does love playing for Liverpool, and I think that'll come across on these games as well, and certainly when the season starts.
That, and I think he's also enjoying being a senior player. So I think that all of that sort of comes together, and part of therefore doing these tours is he may well be the most senior player on the tour.
Keeping Harvey Elliott off the bread.
Yeah, all those bits and pieces. Having to work on all that. Yeah, he's not keeping me off the bread. There is in amongst it. I think with him. I think that there is that idea that he wants to be a leader, and I think you saw that at times last season. Actually, I think you saw it at times the season before when it was going badly wrong as well. I think in a way almost to his own detriment the season before. I think last season there was definitely an element of that. I'm looking forward to that aspect of him. I think it's also, the mad thing is, because we've all lost perspective of time, it's the first time he's actually been in the United States for Liverpool since 2018. He didn't get on the pitch in the 2019 tour. So that's worth pointing out as well. So that's, it's 2024 now. And so I think that's going to be quite significant for him coming over and playing in the United States, because, the United States...
There'll be people watching for the first time.
Yeah, genuinely. So I think that's good, and that's something to be excited about. On the transfer side, listen, I'd like there to be a lot of movement, even whilst the beginnings of feeling like things are coming to fruition while we're away, because I do think that there is, without being grand about it, there is just a bit of a ticking clock. Because of the madness of what we do, we're acutely aware about the schedule works the other side of September. So whoever he brings in, if he wants any time to train them, basically it's, even if they don't come on this tour, they land back on Monday the 5th, Tuesday the 6th of August. It starts then, and he's not going to have another run all the way through the campaign where he's got everyone together and they're only playing once a week. Or if he has got that, something's gone wrong. Yeah. And that's the other thing that we don't want either. So there's lots of reasons to understand why Liverpool have been slow so far in the market, and it's worth pointing out that our rivals have been not as slow as us in that they've at least done one, each of them, but they've been slow as well. All the reasons I think are there, but the clock is ticking now, and you can have the reasons, but it would be a real shame to lose part of this season, and the part I really wouldn't want to lose is the end, because that's when all the action happens, but to feel as though you've lost part of this season because of those reasons. And I think that there is now onus on everyone at the club to get cracking. I think the time is now, because what he wants from the 7th of August, let's just say the 7th of August, because they've got to get back and reacclimatise the players, but he effectively from that point gets 20 to 25 days with them, and those 25 days, if we go back what previous managers have said, those 25 days are now the most important of the season.
You also want to set the new manager up for success and give him the best possible opportunity for Liverpool to win. In his press conference when he's talking about Liverpool winning,
building on.
Exactly, building from a position of, third, coming close-ish to the title, but, falling short because we just weren't there yet. We're going into the season at the moment with Thiago's left, Matip's left. You could argue it's weaker because of the bodies gone out. Obviously, the young players have developed and they're different standards to what they were at the beginning of last season. But I don't think anyone believes that Liverpool don't need any signings. They really do. And like you say, I think there's being opportunistic, and then there's maybe. It might just come to a point where they have to bite a bullet on a player and pay a little bit extra than what they would have liked, or do a little bit early.
Release clause, even if you maybe wants to haggle them a little bit down.
Exactly. To get them in, to give the manager the best possible opportunity for Liverpool to push on, because what we don't want is the beginning of the season that starts really poorly and then he's on the back foot and then it becomes a real slog. We want Liverpool off from the off.
Yeah, and as part of this, there's also the idea that he's now had time to assess them both in person and on videos and stuff like that over a period, and time to think about it, because a lot of this stuff is decisions. Like, for instance, what are you going to do with Trent? Is a decision, because if you're going to move him, then that has knock-on effects to what else you're going to do in the squad. And I think it's just sort of, and we'll get to what's really good about this tour and us seeing the 3 games is we'll begin to at least see some decisions a little bit in terms of he's playing there, he's doing this, it looks a little bit like this, okay, and we can therefore understand a little bit better, because I think a big part of this is, I started this summer wanting Liverpool to buy 3 or 4. I still sort of stick with that, but if understanding the thought process is a flip side of, well, being a supporter, but also doing what we do, is trying to understand the thinking and put it over a little bit, and not, if I don't get 3 or 4 as I would have wanted, being just angry about it, if you see what I mean, but being able to understand and say, all right, well, this is how the decisions have been made to reach this point, and we begin to get that information in these games now. But still, to Craig's point, I think that they do need to have a bit of churn, they do need to have some fresh blood in, and they do begin to need to make some decisions on lads going out, because I'm not one for continually loaning players year after year after year after year after year, because I think it's important for footballers, for their own sake, to be able to put down roots. So Vandenberg, just make a decision. If he's going to play for Liverpool next season, and that's what he wants, playing for Liverpool next season or you're not, mate, and this is how it's going to go. You can make that argument around Tyler Morton, even to an extent Carvalho now, who's not really got to, other than 1 season at Fulham, genuinely enjoy his football for an extended slab. I want to see, it's time to make some decisions, and hopefully we'll begin to see those decisions on the pitch while we're here, but we'll also begin to see them solidly in the transfer market as well, both ins and outs.
I also don't want expectations to drop. I don't want us to get to this stage and go, well, we've only brought 1 player in and we tried to get this and we haven't been able to get him, and so it becomes this like, oh, you're looking at Liverpool now and wondering, whether it's going to be a battle for 4th. I don't want that. At the minute you're aiming for a battle for 4th, or saying that, top 4 is a good season for Liverpool is, well, you're not going to win the league, are you? Because you're not aiming for that. So how can you aim for win the league if you're talking yourself out of it from the off? And
it is so competitive that if you let others get ahead, and then you think, oh, we'll catch them up next time, or we'll go over them next time. Like it's maybe not as easy as that. I'm obsessed with this Man United game on September the 1st. Can't stop thinking about it.
That's one for another day.
I know, we haven't got time for that now, but I'm obsessed about it. They can't get beat at Old Trafford on September the 1st. It's the biggest game in 20 years. I'm going to be talking about it a lot because it's all I can think about. That has been Talking Reds. Huge thanks to NordVPN for partnering with us, obviously to Neil and Craig, for Pittsburgh for hosting us, and for Ash for doing a great job filming, and some amazing cutaways. Up the Reds.
Bring your digital life to a whole new level with NordVPN. Choose the fastest VPN on the planet and explore the internet without interruption.